we doing any better? No. The school district obviously has no choice but to accept the reductions in state funding because the legislature disposes and we simply react. I think we've made some very thoughtful reductions at this point. Thoughtful in the sense that a certain number of dollars had to be cut out of the budget. And, all we could do was to try to limit the impact on our staff and on our students in the classroom. We eliminated, at least on a temporary basis, a number of support positions that I think we probably cannot do without long term. Since our funding is due to increase in the second year of the biennium, the next school year, I believe we're going to be able to restore all or most of those essential support positions and resources to support classroom instruction that had to be eliminated from the budget this year. Were they to be left out for any considerable length of time, I think they would have a substantial impact on reducing the effectiveness of our instruction and the performance of our students. What happens with the legislature in 2013 is at this point still unknown. The legislature is probably going to primarily focus on Medicaid in the 2013 session. I think it's unlikely that public education is going to get any major infusion of new money. We'd be happy if we get it. I'd like to be wrong on that prediction. I don't think we're going to get it. Therefore, our careful financial management has got to carry us through, in all likelihood, the next 4 years. And that means we have to make extremely thoughtful decisions. It means we cannot afford to make frivolous experiments that do not contribute to the broad-based success of our student body.
Mr. Dixon, since you haven't been, what is your opinion on what Ainley ISD has done to cope with lesson funding? What do you believe remains?
Well, I would like, right now there's about 92, almost nearly $93 million in the so-called rainy day budget, rainy day account. I would like to see hard numbers for that, projected budget versus operational budget. I believe that there's quite a bit of padding there that can be lean and really examine that closely and get that fixed. And also, there's some ways as far as like the transportation budget, bus routes, and things of that nature that can be used that I would like to see that in.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Now we have a few questions from the audience. We'll start this time with Dr. Hanson. What is your position on charter schools?
Are we talking state or district?
Either.
Well, school board members have nothing to do with state charters. Those are authorized by the State Board of Education. District charters, the district does have the authority to create, although there are a considerable set of rules that govern what we can do if we elect to create those. I don't know that I have seen any particular need for them. The state rules mandate that if charters are to be created, you have to go through a process of public hearings and get substantial public input to demonstrate that there is a perceived need in the community for the particular service or program that charter school would provide. I'm certainly not opposed in principle to it if there were a feeling in the community that such a charter were needed. But I've certainly heard no overwhelming demand for such things up to this point.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon, what is your position on charter schools?
I think there's a great need for charter schools in the community. Every event I've been to, I've heard that expressed by my former neighbors and classmates. there needs to be more advanced programs like CUR in the community, and where we can really cater towards the students. Really, that's what ABLE needs to do, and that's what we all need to do is cater for our students. College-based programs is terrific, and I support that 100%. But there needs to be right now there's a gap between college-based programs, and that's where I think if we address that gap and add more programs like CUR, vocational programs, quite a few programs with my experience, I think that would meet that need.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, what is your position on charter schools?
My position on charter schools, I am not opposed to charter schools. I know the average board member may be opposed because they worry about how that would impact the budget of the school districts. My belief is that parents, when they had their children, they knew exactly what they expected of that child in growing up. And I think that if a parent desires a charter school for their child, they should be given that opportunity. I do not think that the district has should take on say no to charters. I think parents should have a right to decide or determine what's best for their children if they're educated. In my case, I did not select charter. I did go public school because I am a product of public school. I also did not go private or charter for my own children. I believe that if I was going to pay taxes to an entity, that I needed to find a way to make that school become all that I wanted it to be for my children.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. And now, Dr. Love, what is your position on charter schools?
Again, I don't have a problem with charter schools. They are outgrowths of a number of reasons. The unfortunate thing is many charter schools are unregulated, and it's a perception that charter schools are better, which is not necessarily the case. Charter schools do meet a need. I'm a strong advocate for public school education, and part of the thing we need to do is address interests and needs of the parents to find out where are we falling short in terms of meeting the need. There's a reason for students parents putting their students in charter schools. Some of them are legitimate, some of them are not. But I do feel that we need to better address maybe the needs of the students. We were talking a little while ago about the academic needs vocational program. I'm surprised that this size does not have a strong vocational program that meets the needs or the job demands. We look at many jobs that require technical aids and things of this nature that are going short because there's no one to fill these jobs. We need to be able to be at least on the forefront of being able to prepare students to meet the jobs of the future. But charter schools, again, I see many of them are unregulated. Many of them are perceived to be better than public schools. And from my experience in A-League, we have outstanding schools. Can we do better? Yes, we can do better. Can we provide more varied type of programs and curriculum? Yes, we can. And I think we need to address that issue to better meet the needs of our students in terms of the job demands of the future.
Thank you, Dr. Love. Second question from the audience. I'll start this time with, start with Dr. Love again, if you don't mind. I'll try to keep it fair. What can be done to improve the effectiveness of our teachers?
The effectiveness of the teacher is going to depend on assessment on the building level, monitoring staff development programs. I've been in most of the secondary schools, and I can say that we have an outstanding cadre of secondary school teachers. The thing that is affecting most teachers now is the word that starts with S, stress. We're all stressed. What we need to do is to try to provide programs and circumstances that can mitigate to some degree the stress levels we can. This can come through programs, this can come through maybe better meeting some of the needs of the students, but this is critically important, so we need to address it in that fashion.
Thank you. Ms. Williams, in your opinion, what can be done to improve the effectiveness of our teachers?
In my opinion, I think that our teachers are effective, for one. I think that there are some areas that could be improved. I would kind of agree with my opponent, Dr. Love, that they are under a great amount of stress. And I think one of the awesome things that we had was a convocation this year that addressed that. You may be under stress, but at the end of the day, are we supporting our students the way that we should be? One of the other areas that I think that could help, and I wouldn't say that it's the effectiveness of the teachers, but it's their ability to do their job well. And that is build a stronger relationship with their administrators. I think most of the time that the messages are sent from the board and the messages sent from our superintendent, but there seems to be a breakdown between what's happening at the campus level to get that communicated to our teachers. The teachers feel that there's lots of pressure on them, and they believe that that stress is coming from up top. They think that's coming from the board. They believe that that's coming from the superintendent. I think that what we can do is better communicate what the expectations of our district is from the board level.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. That's you, Mr. Dixon. What can be done to improve the effectiveness of our teachers?
I would agree with Ms. Williams that our teachers are quite effective. I think we could go a lot further in supporting our teachers. I think that's where the real gap comes. It's just listening to our teachers and meeting with them openly, whether they come to the board on a regular basis or through the teachers unions, and being listened to is that to solve that issue. And also maybe for work programs or not necessarily teachers, just call it programs.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Dr. Hanson, what can be done to improve the effectiveness of our teachers?
I think there's probably a consensus up here that Ailey has a good faculty and our teachers are generally effective. And one of the primary reasons for that is the large amount of money relative to what most districts expend that we put into our professional development. If there's anything I consistently hear as feedback from teachers in Ailey, it's how much they appreciate the professional development that we make available to them. And other districts happily hire our teachers when they're available because of the training that they get. That's a process. You never end the need for professional development. And it's obviously important to continue, even in an era of tight budgets, to make the money available for that professional development. Obviously, in terms of effectiveness, I think that maintaining good morale amongst the teaching faculty is terribly important. Teachers need to believe that the administration and school board value them, and I think they got a good evidence of that this past year when we didn't have massive layoffs like a number of our neighboring districts did. And I think that was a demonstration of how much we do appreciate them, that we didn't put them through that. But again, maintaining morale is a process. You never get to the end of it. You have to continually work at doing it. And if there's one thing that really concerned me and something I've heard recently, it's purely anecdotal. But when the legislature went through its gyrations this past spring, I heard anecdotally, and I've yet to see numbers that will confirm or disprove it, that there was a substantial drop in the number of education majors in the education schools in the universities of the state of Texas. And if that's true, that bodes ill, because we are hitting a demographic point where large numbers of teachers are going to be retiring. In fact, that process has already begun. And if we cannot replace them with well-motivated, well-qualified new entrance-level teachers, we're going to be in trouble no matter what else we do right in professional development and morale building.
Thank you, Dr. Hanson.
Okay, Frank is ever resourceful. We have a karaoke machine. we may dance or somebody forgets the words, but we're going to try this.
I brought a CD with me.
Okay.
I think we might have time for one last question.
I'll be glad to speak it.
You can't read it.
No, I can read, I have my reading glasses on, thank you. This time, let's see, I'll start with Ms. Williams. College is not for everyone and does not necessarily get you a job. What skills and programs are being offered to students to prepare them for life after high school, vocational skills, etc.?
Currently, our district has had a focus on what we call CTE programs, career technology education programs. We are also doing an insertion of the math and science programs. Those programs are in place, but I can say that with the upcoming school year, what we've decided to do is to utilize the Texas program that gets our 8th graders involved with career choices and begin to funnel them through their high school days. What we are focusing on is that if we engage them with this particular program, they will make a decision at the high school level as to which programs they want to certify in. So some of the things that the district has already taken initiative to do is to increase the number of certifications that students are getting in those programs. What I would like to see happen in the future is not just the certification at that program, but also an induction into places with the collaboration of Houston Community College, so that once those students are certified there, they can continue their education in the Houston Community College system. I agree that that a lot of students are not set for, may not be set for college, but I believe if you engage them early, which we are attempting to do that from the 8th grade level, not waiting for them to decide to do that at their junior year.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. This time I'll go to Dr. Hanson. Again, college is not for everyone and does not necessarily guarantee you a job. What skills and programs are being offered to students within the district that prepare them for life after high school, vocational skills, etc.?
Are we working any better?
Yeah.
Actually, I think we are. Okay.
You can sing, John.
Yes, okay. Ms. Williams' comments are, for the most part, well taken. I second those points. There's something that needs to be said, and even if it's a bit of an editorial, I'm going to say it anyway. The governor and the legislature talk a great deal about college readiness and workforce readiness. If you look at the requirements that they have imposed upon us for a high school diploma in the state of Texas, those requirements are all geared for college readiness. They are not geared for workforce readiness. There is simply little flexibility unless you take the lowest level diploma in order for you to take the kinds of career preparation courses that you would want to have to directly prepare for a career out of high school. And the laws in place discourage at an extreme level a student taking the lowest level diploma, to the point where if you take it, you cannot be accepted now in a 4-year college or university, public college or a university in the state of Texas. I think that's extraordinarily stupid because the majority of students are not going to college. The majority of students don't need a college degree. They do, however, need to be prepared for a job. The trouble is the state of Texas imposes such extreme requirements that until the most recent relaxation, a student who was taking the more advanced levels of diploma that are recommended by the state had exactly 3 free electives total in 4 years. Now, how do you build a career program with that?
Thank you, Dr. Hanson. And now we'll go to Dr. Love. Once again, college is not for everyone. It does not necessarily guarantee you a job. What skills and programs are being offered to students to prepare them for life after high school within Alief ISD? And since you're not on the school board, I'll ask you, what do you believe should be done?
Well, what I believe should be done and what could be done are two different things. Really, we're operating in a straitjacket in the curriculum. as Dr. Hanson says. There is very little flexibility for students to be participate in co-op and work-study programs. From my experience, educational experience, this was the glue that kept students in school, many students in school. If you look at the job demands now, many of the job demands now require students to have post-secondary education, but something like an associate degree. There's a tremendous shortage of that in the A-Leaf area or in many school districts. What we need to do is better prepare the middle school level students, focus on job awareness, on work study skills, things of this nature. I hope we can expand the opportunities at the high school level for vocational or CTE programs, things of this nature. But we have to be able to motivate and inspire students to stay in school. That's going to be the crux of it. We have to inspire them. I've talked to many students. With the new state standards coming out, I'm concerned about students losing interest because of the increasing demand of all these academic courses. Like Dr. Hanson said, that's focusing students on preparing for a four-year college. Many students are not interested in that. And the work job and the work skills do not demand many of these students going to four-year schools. So we're going to have to work with the state and be futuristic in terms of developing a curriculum that will better meet the needs of the students.
Thank you, Dr. Love. Now,
That's fine, I don't need.
oh, sure. Okay. I'll ask again, college is not for everyone. It does not necessarily guarantee you a job. What skills and programs do you believe should be offered to students within A-Leaf ISD to prepare them for life after high school?
Yes, there were several programs here in A-Leaf that need to be brought back. I was underskilled when I went into college. My first year was at college. I had to take remedial or college prep classes that should have been offered in high school. And I believe that I'm a Kiwanian. We have the saying, Kiwanis once a Kiwanian, always a Kiwanian. We have programs that start all through from elementary school all up through high school. A-Leaf had a fantastic Key Club. They had JCs. They had many mentor programs that are no longer here. And I think that's where it's lacking. I do quite a bit of mentor work with Dulles High School, Elkins High School. They have tremendous Key Clubs. And they have mentor programs with people from the chamber and the community that have internships with students and help them integrate them.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. And now we'll give each candidate 2 minutes to give a summary of why we should vote for them come election day. And this time I'll start with Dr. Love.
Thank you very much. As I said before, I bring a wealth of experience, secondary experience, university experience. I've worked with many agencies. I've worked with state agencies. I helped to develop alternative programs. I helped to develop statewide academic programs. I've worked closely, and I think I've been able to inspire as well as instruct. As I said before, I have a very close connection with many of the students here in A-Leaf. I have a knowledge of many of the programs in A-Leaf. I get on the board, it will not be a learning curve at all, except maybe with specific programs. But I think I can bring a breath of fresh air and some awareness and influence for the students. The reason I'm running is not so much because adults asked me, it was actually the students. The last year and a half, 2 years, asked me, why don't you run for the board? So finally, I guess the bug bit. And it's really interesting and motivating when students can encourage you to run for something. And it's the first time in my life students ever asked me to run for something. But I was really inspired by their desire to have me run because they know my intent and my spirit. I'm a student and teacher-focused person. And I look forward to working with students and teachers to really better the A-Leaf Independent School District. I want to build the morale. I want to build the focus in terms of making A-Leaf even better than it is now. We want to work to improve the culture and opportunity for all students and staff here in A-Leaf. And I think I can do that with my experience and background. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Love. And now I'll turn it to Mr. Dixon.
I too, obviously, what I bring to the board is my connections in the community through the JCs, Houston Kiwanis, and I've worked with many business members in the community, and I believe that that would be a great asset, and venturing into programs, bringing new programs into Haley. And yes, Dr. Hanson, I am fully aware of the CTE program. My point was that it needs to be expanded. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. And now Ms. Williams.
In closing, I just would like to share that one of the statements that I usually open with, which I didn't today, is that I care, I'm committed, and I'm capable. I care about the students of A-League without a doubt, and there are many students who will address and who would testify to that. I care about them. I not only care about giving them a good education in the district, I care about them, helping them to enter into college. I know that the role of the school district is to make sure that the child can educate and be graduated. I also take on the responsibility to ensure that once you're graduated, can you enter into a college? Do you have the funding that's needed? Do you know how to fill out your financial information? Or do you have books? Those are to the extent that I go. And of course, those things are not going to be seen with the district level, but I do care. I am committed. I am committed to the cause of ensuring that we keep transparency within our district. I'm committed to the point that I'm asking the questions on how do we bring that transparency to our parents. Many of our parents, which I'm glad we had brought up, they're 81% economically disadvantaged. I cannot believe and will never accept that our parents do not care. They are out working, they are out doing the things of taking care of their families. And I think bringing transparency through public access channels, other school districts, HISD, Fort Bend, even Stafford Municipal School District have access channels where our community, our taxpayers, are able to go and see what our board is doing, understand the decisions that we're making. So I would like to bring that transparency. The other thing is I'm capable. I'm capable of making a decision on the near $400 million budget. In the last 4 years that I've been here, I've made those decisions concerning the budget. You can check my record and understand where we have positioned ourselves. And I am very proud of the work that I've done on the school board, and I'm looking forward to that continued effort. I also want to say I thank the A-League Federation of Teachers as well as the Texas State Teachers Association who have endorsed me, and I appreciate your endorsement as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams, and I'll leave it with Dr. John Hanson.
I have to say, after 18 years on the board, which, while there were certain episodes I could happily have done without, overall I have truly enjoyed. I had given some serious thought to calling it a school board career. And I guess when I let that be known to colleagues, I had many of my fellow school board members and quite a few people on the staff coming to me saying, we really wish that you would stay around longer. We've made a lot of progress with you on board. We feel you have a level of insight and understanding that has really helped us in being able to forge the right kind of policies and be able to, down at the classroom level, get the kind of results that we want to get for our kids. And having invested 18 years of a good portion of my life in the A-League School District, I confess I was reluctant to see any of that be lost. So I decided, okay, I will run again. And the appeal that I make to those of you who are considering all of us as candidates is that we are facing a 4-year period, whether you want to admit it or not, which is going to be a very difficult period. Funding is not going to be readily available. It is going to require people with true expertise and people willing to make unpleasant decisions. It's a pleasant fantasy to think that just because we're elected to the school board, we have lots of play money and we can do whatever we want with it. We can't. During this period of time, at the very least, we are going to have to be extremely thoughtful. That means when programs get created, we have to demonstrate a genuine need. We have to be able to prove